All right. So yesterday we met Adapa and Titi. Right? So everybody that was present yesterday, we met Adapa and Titi. Okay? And who is Adapa and Titi, guys? Let me see who paying attention, who ain't. Who is Adapa and Titi to this story? Who is Adapa and Titi to this story? The biblical Adam and Eve. Yeah. The second line of humanity. Okay? Yeah, the biblical Adam and Eve is Adapa and Titi. All right, shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. So we met the second line of humanity. We learned that it was two lines of humanity. There was the Homo sapiens and the Homo sapiens sapiens. Okay? Cause there you go, S-O-E-J Mitch, dawn and dusk. Dusk with a K. Like the evening time. That's what dusk means, the evening time. So yeah, man. And like I say, if nothing else, what you should take from this is that these tablets give a much more detailed description of what really took place. Now, when you go back and you look at your Bible, you realize, like, damn, it don't tell us this and it don't tell us that. Like, why would they leave this shit out? Guys, I want y'all to know something, man. If you were to start your own world, you would not create a world and not give your creation understanding. Okay? So just to entertain the idea of the religious God, the way people see God, God wouldn't have created this world and not give us understanding. Okay? We would have knew who was the first people. We would have knew what color they were. We would have knew all of these things. But the reason you don't get this information in the Bible, because the Bible is a diluted version of these events. It's a misconstrued, misinterpreted version. You're not getting a real version of events when you deal with the Bible. That's just the truth, okay? And I will never lose that debate. I can prove that 1,000 times over, okay? So the thing is about my class, the reason I said it's a red pill class, because it's a shock to the senses. If you'd have lived your whole life believing in the religious concept of God, and you think everything happened the way the Bible said it happened, then it's going to be a shock when you hear that these things did not happen the way that the Bible says, and that it was more details to it, and that the people that's in the Bible are not gods at all, right? Like we want to know the real God so bad, but we not on a level to know the real God. We haven't put in the work, man. We out here eating hot Cheetos, hot Takis and shit. And we think we supposed to know God when Tibetan monks dedicating their whole life to spiritualism. Tibetan monks sitting in a monastery right now in meditation mode. Them motherfuckers been in meditation for the last 22 hours. Okay? But then we out here and we expect to have this knowledge of God, and we eat terrible. We got terrible diets. We live wrong. We out of balance. We're not in alignment with that truth. Now, we are good. Our people, I was just speaking in general, but the people that I'm aligning myself with, we on the right path. Okay? If I'm working out every day. I done changed my diet. I don't eat no pork. I don't eat fried foods no more. I don't eat pork. Sugar, no sugar. It's a lot of things that I've changed about my diet to help myself just be better aligned, right? To help me to be better at meditating, a lot of different things, okay? So if you want to get closer in your understanding to the Most High, start doing these things in life that's conducive to getting that, okay? Because like I say, you ain't going to get that from church and religion. So, Adapa and Titi, we met. Adapa, first man to leave the earth. First man. So Adapa gets to go to Nibiru because Anu wants to lay eyes on him. Anu say, I want to see this new human. That Enki acting like he don't know what's going on. Right? So Adapa goes to Nibiru where Enki has already told him, don't eat the food, don't drink the drink. Why did Enki tell Adapa not to eat the food on the Nibiru and not to drink the drink? Why did he tell him that? I be looking over there sometimes. I got two screens going. So if y'all ever see me looking over there, I'm looking at the other screen. Why did Enki tell Adapa not to eat the food on the Nibiru and not to drink the drink? Leandrio, no. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good answer, Jay Swing. Both of y'all, all y'all right. To prevent immortality. I like Jay Swing's answer, just the way he worded that, because that's exactly what they was trying to do. That's why I like that answer, Jay Swing. They were prevent immortality. They didn't want us to live the way they live. Because can I be real with y'all? The longer we live, the better we get. You get to evolve in so many ways. But with these short life cycles, we don't have much time to evolve. Especially if we're not being taught how to evolve spiritually, right? So they wanted to prevent the immortality, because if we are able to evolve in the right way, we'll become more, we will be more capable than them. We'll have more ability than they would. See, that's the trick. The trick is humanity is set up to be the most powerful group. This shit is lying dormant in your body. That's why they're giving you all these poisons to keep your vibration down, okay? They don't want you to know how powerful you truly are. But that's also why I'm trying to build a UMF. So we can get out there, we can start meditating, we can start cleansing, we can get ourselves right, and we can get strong spiritually, and we can build a Merkabah. That's what I want us to do. I want us to be able to build a Merkabah. Okay, we'll get there. So anyway, Adapa goes there. Enki tells him not to eat or drink because he's trying to, prevent mortality, right? But Anu takes offense to this. Anu is like, nigga, you done came in my house, you done came all the way to Nibiru, and you gonna not eat the food and not drink? Who is this nigga? Send this nigga back now. Anu was mad. But then Ningazita steps in and say, hey, granddad, my dad gave me this tablet to give to you, okay? Anu takes the tablet, goes in the back, he reads it, and on the tablet is Enki explaining who Adapa truly was. And so on the tablet, he explains to Anu that Adapa is actually his son. Comes straight out his semen, okay? And this makes Anu laugh, because Anu like, my damn son will hit anything. That's why Anu was laughing. Anu say, man, my son will hit anything. Anything moving, he'll stick his penis in. All right? So once Anu realized why Enki didn't want him to eat, Anu said, okay, I get it. Let's send him back. All right? So not only did they send Adapa back, they sent back ewes to be shepherded, right? They also sent back grains to be cultivated. Grains to become bread, ewes to become sheep. So we learn that the sheep or the ewe is not indigenous to earth. This is an animal from another world, okay? And it's quite a few. It's quite a few, okay? I'm gonna try to do my research on that, but I know cows and sheep are two animals for sure that come from Nibiru. All right. So they brought this stuff down so that they can have a food source. They needed a food source here because, first of all, the human population is growing. The human population can't fend for itself. Okay. It has no knowledge. This is the thing that we have to wrap our mind around. These primitive earthlings, they had no knowledge of anything. So they had to be led by the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki had to set up for them to eat. So whatever they needed, the Anunnaki had to help them with. I'm sure they learned some things on their own because you naturally, as you go through your day-to-day, you're going to discover some things. They might have discovered how to get some fruit out of the trees and things of that nature, but it wasn't enough to where the entire population could be fed, okay? So the Anunnaki say, hey man, if this gonna work, we need our own food source so we can have enough food as well as the earthlings, okay? So they brought these ewes, they brought these cows, they brought these grains, they brought all types of things necessary for cultivation, all right? So this is where we are about to begin today. Adapa on his way back, the ewes and the grains. And we are about to meet the biblical Cain and Abel. All right, y'all ready to roll? Let's get it. The planet Nibiru grew smaller as they traveled from the horizon to zenith. On their journey, Ningazita to Adapa explained the planet. Of sun and earth around the moon, to him he gave lessons. Of how the months chase one another and how the earth's year is counted, he taught him. When to the earth they returned, to his father Enki, Ningazita related all that had happened. Enki laughed and struck his loins. It all went as expected with glee, he said. So he basically like, ha ha ha. Except the detention of Dumuzi. That is a puzzle, so did Enki say. By the prompt return of Ningazita and Adapa, Enlil was greatly puzzled. What is the matter? What on Nibiru transpired of Enki and Ningazita, he inquired. Let Ninmah too be summoned. Let her too of what transpired hear, Enki said to him. After Ninmah arrived, to Enlil and to her, Ningazita, all did tell. Enki's cohabitation with an earthling females, he also related. No rules did you bring. The fates of Anunnaki and earthlings by a rash deed you determined, so did Enlil say in anger. So Enlil is pissed off again, okay, for the fifth time. He pissed that he found out that Enki was having sex with the earthlings, okay? So to him, that's disgusting. That's beneath him, okay? Now the lot is cast. Destiny by fate is overtaken. With fury was Enlil seized. With anger he turned and left them standing. To Eridu Marduk came. By his mother Damkina he was summoned. The odd ongoings to verify of his brother and father he demanded. To keep the secret from Marduk hidden, father and brother decided. Okay? So Ningazita and Enki decided to not tell Marduk. This is going to cause a problem down the line. Because Marduk going, why you ain't tell me, Dad? Okay? I knew by the civilized man was enthralled. To once and all on earth satiate, he commanded. So they, to Marduk, only part of the truth revealed. By Adapa and Titi, Marduk was impressed. To the boy, he took a liking. While Ningazita is instructing Adapa, let me, the boy's teachers, be. So did Marduk to his father, Enki and Enlil say, let Marduk teach one, let Ninurta teach one. Did we skip something? Hold on, give me a second. Oh yeah, we did that yesterday. Okay. So right now they're talking about Cain and Abel. Okay. Marduk is going to teach one of the boys, and Ninurta is going to teach one. Okay. So I think Marduk is going to teach Cain. I'm I want to say. He's going to teach Cain. And the nurture is going to teach Abel. Okay? Let Marduk teach one, let the nurture teach the other. To them Enlil responded. In Eridu, Ningazita with Adapa and Titi stayed. Numbers and writing he taught Adapa. The twin who was first in birth, the nurture let me read that again. With Adapa and Titi, numbers he taught Adapa. The twin who was first in birth, Ninurta took to Bad Tiberias, his city. Cain. This is the way they spelled it. Like we say Cain, but they say Cain. Okay? So his name was Ka. Ka, like Ka and Ba, like the earth and moon. Ka. Cain. Cain, he who in the fields grows food. Okay? That's what the name Cain meant. He who in the fields grow food. Cain. To dig canals for watering, he taught him. Sowing and reaping, he was teaching. A plow from the woods of trees, the nurture for Cain made. With it a tiller of the land to be. Okay? So they making tills. They using woods to make tills. K-I, I-N, Cain, like that. Cain. I-N sounds like E-E-N. K-A-I-N. Cain. It's spelled K-A-I-N. So but it's pronounced Cain. The other brother, son of Adapa, by Marduk to the meadow was taken. Abael. We say Abel, but the way they got it written is Abael. Abel, he of the watered meadows, his name was thereafter called. He of the watered meadows. How to build stalls, Marduk taught him, for shepherding to start. The return of the Muzi they waited. When the shar was completed, the Muzi returned to earth. The essence seed of sheep used for the growing with him he brought. So y'all remember they was waiting on the baby boy, waiting on the Muzi to come back. Okay? So now the shar has ended. The Muzi has returned. The Muzi brought with him the sheep. Okay? The sheep and the grains. So Marduk had Abel build animal stalls. Okay? So when the sheep get here, they got a place to put the sheeps. The essence seed of sheep used for the growing with him he brought. Four-legged animals of Nibiru to another planet he conveyed. Four-legged animals of Nibiru to another planet. His return with essence, seed, and ewes was cause for much celebration. Into the care of his father, Enki with the Muzi returned with precious cargo. The leaders then got together how to proceed with the new breed they considered. Never before was there a ewe on earth. A lamb has never to earth from the heavens been dropped. Go right there. Never before was there a ewe on earth. A lamb has never to earth from the heavens been dropped. Okay? So again, you know the heavens is just, they're just using the heavens as being symbolic as coming from the cosmos. Okay? So we're looking at an alien. We're definitely looking at an alien when we look at sheep. A she-goat has never before to her kid given birth. A she-goat has never before to her kid given birth. Again, you were considered the flock. They compared people with the ewes. That's the comparison, okay? The people were considered the flock. Do y'all understand that? You were considered the sheep, right? So why do you think we call our children kids? Why do you think we call our children kids? Because a kid is a baby goat. A kid is a baby goat. Is part of the livestock. Okay, so we are called that. We are called that because we were compared with the livestock. That's the symbology of it. So this is why we call our kids today. Weaving of sheep's wool has never before been established. The Anunnaki leaders, Enlil, Ninmah, Ningazita, who were the creators, there go your us and our right there. The Anunnaki leaders, Enki, Enlil, Ninmah, and Ningazita, who the creators were, a creation chamber, a house of fashioning to establish, decided. Upon the pure mound of the landing place in the Cedar Mountains, it was established. Near where the elixir seeds by Ninmah were planted, there was the creation chamber established. So they established what they call the creation chamber. Basically was a seed bank. Basically like a seed bank. Y'all know what a seed bank is, right? That's where they store all the seeds just in case like an apocalypse happened. They can always go back. So they had that too. They called it a creation chamber. And they said that they built this creation chamber. They said that they planted the seeds near where the elixir seeds by Ninmah were planted, okay? And you got to remember the elixir seeds are the grapes, okay? The grape juice is the elixir or wine. There was the multiplying of the grains and of the ewes on earth had begun. Of Cain for sowing and reaping, Ninurta was the mentor. So Ninurta was teaching Cain how to grow, how to sow, and how to reap. Of Abael, the arts of ewe and lamb rearing and shepherding, Marduk was the mentor. Okay? So Marduk is teaching Abel how to deal with the animals, and Ninurta is teaching Cain how to grow vegetables, how to grow wheat, how to grow vegetables, okay? When the first crops were reaped, when the first sheep matured, let there be a celebration of firsts. Enlil, a decree proclaimed. Before the assembled Anunnaki, the first grams, the first lambs were presented. And I'm sure we probably have some kind of religious ceremony that we still do today that is symbolic of this. I just got to do my research. So basically they're having a celebration of first. So the first sheep have matured. The first grains have grown. So they're going to throw a party to celebrate that they now have this harvest, okay? I just got to do my research. Before the assembled Anunnaki, the first grams, the first lambs, the first grains, the first lambs were presented. At the feet of Enlil and Enki, Cain by Ninurta guided his offering place. Okay? So Cain placed his offering at the feet of Enki and Enlil. Okay? At the feet of Enlil and Enki, Abel by Marduk guided placed his offering. Okay? Enlil to the brothers gave a joyful blessing. Their labors he extolled. Enki, his son Marduk, embraced. The lamb for all to see he raised. Meat for eating, wool for wearing, to earth have come, Enki said. Now this is the account of the generations of Adapa and the killing of Abel by Cain and what thereafter transpired. After the celebration of first was over, sullen was Cain's face. By the lack of Enki's blessing, greatly he was aggrieved. As to their task, the brothers returned. Abel, before his brother, was boasting. Okay? So wait, let me do this. So Cain was a little bit sad that Enki wasn't heaping a bunch of praise on him. Okay? So, he was just looking for some validation, right? So it's just like, how little kids, for everybody that's got children, how when your kids do something, they be like, they want you to see it so bad, and they want you to tell them that they did a good job. Like I got my little boy and my little girl, they always competing for who dad gonna say who did the best job, okay? So this basically was Cain disappointed because Enki didn't heap that kind of praise on him, okay? So he's a little depressed. I'm just trying to set the scene, okay? Cain is a little depressed and sad because he didn't get the love, okay? And now, come on with it, Cat. Cat say it's called first fruits. Cat over there on her research game. Come on with it, Cat. You taught me something today. I'm gonna look up first fruits. I'm gonna look that up, and I'm gonna do my research on that. Shout out to Cat, y'all. Y'all show Cat some love. Cat say that festival in religion is usually called first fruits. I knew it. I know it. I love it, man. I love it. Shout out to Kathy, man. My spiritual twin. So Cain is a little sad right now because he didn't get that love. And so now him and Abel is back in the field. And Abel is over here bragging and boasting about all the love that he got. Let's check it out. Abel, before his brother, was boasting. I am the one abundance brings. I am the one who the Anunnaki satiates, who gives strength to the heroes, whose wool for their clothing provides. So Abel is basically telling his brother Cain, hey, nigga, I'm more important than you. Nigga, what I do is far more important than you. They need my meat. They need my wool. They don't want your fucking salad. The Anunnaki don't even want no salad. They ain't even on no diet. So he just flexing on his brother Cain right now. Cain, by his brother's words, was offended. To his boasting, he strongly objected. It is I who the plains luxuriates, whose furrows with grains make heavy, whose fields birds multiply, in whose canals fish become abundant. Sustaining bread by me is produced. With fish and fowl, the Anunnaki's diet I variate. Right? So this is Cain coming back. Cain is like, hey, nah, nigga, they like my stuff too. They like my grains. They like my bread. They like my fish. They like my vegetables. Just because we eating healthy. Right? So Cain is basically like a vegan arguing with somebody that eat meat. Cain say, no, man, I give them a variety of a diet, okay? So they having this argument. Like I say, Abel is boasting, flexing on Cain, making him feel bad. On and on, the twin brothers each other disputed. Through the wintertime, they argued, okay? So what you got to imagine is that how did Abel even learn how to be a dickhead? That shit was just already in him. This nigga's literally like the fourth Homo sapien in existence. And he already a dickhead. How he learned how to do that? So you got to imagine that this bickering and this infighting continued between them. Okay? Abel, making Cain feel away. Making Cain feel like he less important. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you that it only goes so far. You only gonna take so much shit from anybody, even your brother. Okay? On and on, the twin brothers each other disputed. Through the wintertime, they argued. When summer began, it was not raining. The meadows were dry. The pastures dwindled. Uh-oh. Into the fields of his brother, Abel drove his flock. From the furrows in the canals to drink water. Farmer and shepherd, brother and brother, words of accusations uttered. Okay, so basically, Abel started to take his animals over to Cain's side of things and let his animals feed and drink the water. Okay, now apparently Cain had already told this nigga, "Don't come on my side." See, the beef had escalated to the point where Cain was like, "Hey nigga, you stay over there, I'm gonna be over here. We good. Long as you stay over there, I'm gonna be over here." Okay? But Abel, being, not having no respect, decided, "Man, fuck you. I'm gonna take my animals over here. I'm gonna let my animals feed. I'm gonna let them drink. I don't care what you say, Cain." Well, Cain played the game a little different. They spat on each other. Oh, shit. So, Abel to spit in the man's face. Cain spat back on him. With their fists, they fought. Greatly enraged, Cain picked up a stone. Abel said, "What you gonna do with that bitch, nigga? You think I'm supposed to be scared? Because you got a stone? You think you the only nigga with stones?" And at that point, with the stone, he struck Abel in the head. Again and again, he hit him until Abel fell, his blood gushing from his head. Am I my brother's keeper? Not today. Not today. When Cain, his brother's blood saw, he shouted, "Abel, my brother! Abel, my brother!" So of course he regretted it, because he did this in a moment of rage. You understand that? Like, he didn't literally want to kill his brother, but he let his rage get the best of him. We have to be taught how to keep our rage in. Okay? We had to be taught how to keep our rage in. Okay? So they wasn't taught that. Nobody taught them how to, work through their issues or nothing like that. So he acted on his emotion. He acted on his anger. All right? And he killed him. Okay? But he regretted it. He regretted it right after he did it. Right? Motionless on the ground did Abel remain. From him his soul had departed. By the brother whom had killed Cain, Cain remained. For a long time he sat there crying. Titi, it was who the killing was the first to know by premonition. Y'all heard that? Titi knew. Titi seen it in a vision. Titi, I had already knew that her son was gone. She saw it in a vision. Now, why was Titi able to do this? Mother's intuition. Mothers are connected to their children. Men don't have that connection to children. That's why, you have to respect a woman's authority when it comes to a child, because they are connected to them children spiritually, genetically, all types of ways. Okay. So mother's intuition, she could feel it. Like mamas, I done heard from mamas that say, like, they can feel when when something's wrong with their children. Okay? So Titi could feel it. In a dream vision, as she was sleeping, Abel's blood she saw. In the hand of Cain it was. Adapa from his sleep she awakened. Her dream vision she told to him. A heavy sorrow fills my heart. Did something terrifying happen? Greatly agitated she was. In the morning, the two from Eridu departed. To the whereabouts of Cain and Abael they went. In the field, they found Cain by the dead Abel. He was still seated. A great cry of agony, Titi shouted. Abael spread mud on his head. What have you done? What have you done to Cain? They shouted. Silence was Cain's answer. To the ground he threw himself and wept. To Eridu city, Abael returned. What had happened to the Lord Enki, he told. With fury, Enki confronted Cain. Accursed you shall be, to him he said. Accursed you shall be. From the Eden you must depart. Among the Anunnaki and civilized earthling, you shall not stay. So this is the exiling of Cain. As to Abael in the fields, his body cannot remain for the wild birds. As the Anunnaki custom, he in a grave below a stone pile shall be buried. So there you go. You out here burying your dead. Where you get that from? Anunnaki. That's their custom. Told y'all guys, man, all this shit come from these people. They are the parent race. That's what they are. They are our parent race. Everything we have in our society, from our law, our math, our science, everything comes from these people, including the burial practices. As the Anunnaki custom, he in a grave below a stone pile shall be buried. How to bury Abael, Enki to Abael and Titi showed. For them, the custom was not known. For 30 days and 30 nights, Abael by his parents was mourned. To Eridu for judgment, Cain was brought. The exile sentenced to pronounce Enki wished. For his deed, Cain himself must be slain, so did Marduk say with anger. So Marduk wanted Cain killed, okay? Because Cain killed Abael, and Abael was trained by Marduk, okay? So Marduk wanted Cain killed. Let the 7 who judge be assembled, so did the Nerta of Cain, the mentor, say. Whoever of such an assembling ever heard, Marduk shouted, that for one not from Nibiru, Anunnaki leaders shall to judge be called. Is it not enough that one by the Nerta mentored, the one by me favored has killed? So here go Marduk with his little attitude, right? And the Nerta say, let's bring together the 7 who judge. Let's give him his day in court. Marduk like, who ever heard of that? Why the hell would we give an earthling his day in court? Right? Basically saying we're not worthy of that because we're not the Anunnaki. That the Anunnaki, more civilized people, that's something for their society, not for ours. Okay? And then he goes on to say, press in about the fact that Ninurta trained Cain. He say, is it not enough that one by Ninurta mentored killed the one by me favored? Okay, so he's basically trying to say that Ninurta trained this man to kill or something. I don't know. Just being messy. Is it not that as Ninurta, Anzu did vanquish, so did Cain against his brother rise? Like the fate of Anzu, Cain's fate should be his life breath to be extinguished. So did Marduk in anger to Enki, Enlil, and the Nerta say. Ninurta, by the words of Marduk, was saddened. Silence, not words, was his answer. Let me with Marduk in private have words, to them Enki said. When in Enki's private chambers, he and Marduk were. My son, to Marduk, Enki softly spoke. Your agony is great. Let us not compound agony with agony. A secret that on my heart has heavenly and burden, let me tell you. He about to tell him the truth about Abael. Once upon a time, by the river, I strode. Two earthly maidens caught my attention. By them, from my seed, were Abael and Titi conceived. A new kind of earthling, a civilized man that upon the earth was brought. Whether they to procreate were able, our king Anu was in doubt. By the birth of Cain and Abel were Anu and the council on the Beru convinced. A new phase of Anunnaki presence on this planet was welcome and approved. Now that Abel has been slain, and if Cain too shall be extinguished, satiation to an end would come. Mutinies will be repeated, and all that was achieved shall crumble. Okay, so that makes perfect sense. Enki is telling Marduk, if I kill Cain, then who the fuck gonna plant these seeds? Who the hell gonna deal with these sheep and these ewes? Because y'all got to realize it was only two people doing that job. Okay, the other earthlings, it's a reason. They didn't want the Adamu. First of all, the Adamu was too retarded at this point. Let's just keep it a buck. You remember the Adamu had, turned into this incestuous group, so they were too dumb to even learn this shit. But Cain and Abel were the only two that reared the sheep and that planted the grains. Okay? So now they're in a situation where they got to find somebody else to do this, because Abel is dead and Cain is about to be exiled. Okay? No wonder that to Abel you took a liking. The son of your half-brother he was. Now on the other one have pity. Let the line of Abael survive. So did Enki with sadness a secret to his son Marduk reveal. By the revelation, Marduk was at first astounded. Then by laughter, he was overcome. Everybody be laughing at Enki. So y'all notice that, right? Every time Enki tell, that's how real this shit is. That's why I love this story. Every time Enki tell that story, somebody laugh at him because they know, like, damn, dog, you can't keep your dick in your pants. That's what you need to know about Enki. Enki is loose ding-a-ling Enki. Enki gonna throw that ding-a-ling around, dog. Trust me, okay? So Marduk is overcome by laughter. Of your love-making prowess, much to me was rumored. He say it was a rumor. Listen, Marduk say it was a rumor going around that these was your kids. He say, of your love-making prowess, much to me was rumored. Now of that I am convinced. My nigga, they had a whole little rumor going around the Anunnaki work site that these was Enki kids. You know, that nigga Adam looked like Enki a little bit. They were saying. Indeed, let Cain's life be spared. To the ends of the earth, let him be banished. Here we go. Okay? To the ends of the earth, let him be banished. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Leon Jesus said, yeah, they got his nose. That's what they've been saying. That's what they were saying. So check it out. Let's find out what Nod was at, all right? So Cain is going to be banished to the ends of the earth. There's the end of the earth on the west that goes all the way out to the Pacific Ocean. I'm sorry when you go east or west, you end up in the Pacific Ocean. That's how big that motherfucker is. But there's the ends of the earth to the east, all the way out as far as to China. And then there's the other end, the opposite end, the Americas. Okay? Once you get to the Americas, the next thing is the Pacific Islands and nothing but ocean after that. Okay? So, let's find out which end of the earth he was banished to. So, Marduk, from anger to laughing changer to his father say, in Eridu, judgment upon Cain by Enki was pronounced. Westward to a land of wandering for his evil deed, Cain must depart. Westward to a land of wandering for his evil deed, Cain must depart. That his life must be spared, he and his generations shall be distinguished. Westward. Let's pull up a map. Let's look at a map. Let's look at a map. Okay, guys, we here. Here's east. Here's west. Now, I want you to know something. Right? When somebody, when you're talking about, when they say westward, okay? So we talking about he going in a spaceship. He's not traveling himself. So Ninurta is going to take him in a spaceship westward, okay? To a land of no return. So they're not talking about where they at. They're not talking about West Africa. Okay? They say westward to a land of no return. Okay? Now, for right now, you're not gonna get the full picture, but coming up, you're gonna see exactly where he went, and we have the proof. Okay, so let's stay on page. By Ningazita was the life essence of Cain altered. Y'all heard me? By Ningazita was the life essence of Cain altered. So he went into his genetics and he changed something in his genetics. Okay? He changed that his face, a beard should not grow. Cain's life essence, Ningazita changed. Did y'all hear that? He changed his life essence so that he could not grow a beard. He would be bald face. Bald face. Okay? That's the mark of Cain. Beardless. Not a fucking 666. Okay? The mark of Cain was to be beardless because in Anunnaki society, a beard is godly. A beard is, that's a huge thing to be bearded. Okay? It was a symbol of manhood, stature. So he changed Cain's life essence. The mark of Cain was for him to be beardless. Okay? Remember that. I want y'all to remember that. I want y'all to remember that. Write it down. The mark of Cain was for him to be beardless. It's going to all make sense when we get to where we're going. Trust me. I got you. Trust me. With his sister, Awan, as a spouse, Cain from the Eden departed. Did y'all hear that? Again, it's another note. You need to take this note down. Listen. So when they sent Cain to exile with his sister, Awan, as a spouse from the Eden departed. So Cain wasn't by himself. He had his sister who was also his sexual partner. Okay, y'all following me? Y'all following me? So wherever Cain was sent to, he had somebody to procreate with and basically start his own civilization. You understand? He basically had somebody to procreate with and start his own civilization. Now, over the time that Cain is in this land, don't get too far ahead of yourself. We're going to get that, guys. Let the information come out. Let the information come out. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Now, this land that he was exiled to, over the years, other people would join Cain's society. So Cain wasn't just over there with him and his old lady. Eventually, more Anunnaki, more of earthlings was sent over to live amongst Cain. Okay? So remember that. I want you to remember that too. We plant some seeds for what's to come. Now the Anunnaki sat and among themselves wondered. Without Abel, without Cain, who shall for us the grains grow and make bread? Who shall be the shepherd, the ewes? Who shall be the shepherd? The ewes multiply, wool for clothing provide. Let by Adapa and Titi more proliferation be. Okay? So this is the other children. Y'all do know Adam and Eve had other children, right? That Cain and Abel wasn't their only children. Right? We know that, right? Put a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure everybody understood that. Cain and Abel were not their only children. I think even religion teach y'all about Seth. Right? So yeah, they had to have other children. Now y'all see. They had to make other children because somebody got to do this work. Somebody got to do this work. Anunnaki one. Nope, that's the Anunnaki. All right, there we go. Damn, I can't see all of it too. Something blocking them. This thing is blocking it. So this is Cain's side over here. This is Abel. Abel dead, so he ain't got no children. So you got Cain's line and you got Seth's line, okay? So check it out. You got Adam and Eve at the top, Adapa and Titi. Then you got Cain, Abel, and Seth is their son, okay? That's the son that they're about to have now, okay? They had a bunch of daughters too, right? But you know, they only keep up with the male lineage, okay? Unfortunately, my sisters, I'm sorry. They only keep up with the male lineage. So we got Cain, Abel, and Seth, all right? Seth's line is what we're about to talk about, okay? With the blessing of Enki, Adapa knew his spouse Titi again and again. I mean, he was in there beating it up. One daughter, another daughter, each time again and again were born. So he kept having daughters at first. That was the problem. He kept having girls. Girl. In the 95th Shar, a son Adapa and Titi finally had. Sati, he who life binds again. You see, when you raised by white folks, they gonna tell you his name was Seth. But when you go to the African information, his name was Sati. Not no goddamn Seth. Y'all got to remember, man, them white boy names, man. The white boy took it over, okay? Sati, he who life binds again. Titi named him. By him were the generations of Adapa continued. In all, 30 sons and 30 daughters Adapa and Titi had. God damn. I thought Lil Boosie had a lot of kids. Adapa and Titi had 30 sons and 30 daughters. Of them, tillers of the land and shepherds for the Anunnaki toiled. By them did satiation to Anunnaki and civilized earthlings come back. In the 97th Shar, to Sati, a son by his spouse Arzura was born. By the name Enki in the Annals, he was recorded. Master of humanity meant his name. Enki. That's the dude Enos. Okay? So if you ever read the Bible and you heard about Enos in the Bible, Enos was the first son of Sati, who they call Seth. Okay? For all my people that's familiar with the Bible, these names gonna sound very familiar. Okay? So this is Enos was Enki. By Adapa, his father, writing in numbers was made to understand. And who the Anunnaki were and all about Nibiru by Adapa, Enki was told. Sati, S-A-T-I, S-A-T-I. To Nabruki by the sons of Enlil, he was taken. Secrets of the Anunnaki, they taught him. Okay, so this is, right now, the Anunnaki is passing down certain pieces of knowledge, certain knowledge of the sciences, knowledge of the planet. So they're passing down knowledge right now to these earthlings, okay? How the perfumed oils for anointing Nanar, Enlil's own, Earth's the eldest, he showed him. How the elixir from the Inubu fruits to prepare Ishkur instructed him. It was since then that by civilized man, the Anunnaki were called lords. There you go. There you go. There you go. It was since then that by civilized man, the Anunnaki were called lords. That ain't God y'all calling on. Lord, take the wheel. You better be careful. That ain't God you calling on. Call on the Father of all. Call on the Creator of all. Call on the Most High God, the creator of the universe. That's how you call on God. Okay? And we got to stop saying the word God. Wait till I tell y'all what I gotta get myself in the habit of stop saying God. Because that name God comes from somebody. I know who God is. I know who the person named that was God. His name was Gadriel. He was an Ejiji. You're going to learn about Gadriel and Zaziel and all of these motherfuckers. You're going to learn about them. Okay? So we gotta be careful, man. Like I say, man, we gotta unlearn everything. They poison the fuck out of us. Guys, I want y'all to know something, man. We would be living in a class A civilization if we had not been poisoned with so many lies. A class A civilization does not have disease. It does not have homelessness. It does not have war. It does not have none of that shit. That's what your society and your civilization will look like if we wasn't given so many lies. Some meds are named after them too. I can believe it. I definitely can believe it. It was since then that by civilized man, the Anunnaki were called lords. And of the rites of worship of the Anunnaki, that was the beginning. Y'all heard that? In the rites of worship of the Anunnaki, that was the beginning. So you've been calling somebody Lord that you thought was the creator of all. You've been worshiping somebody. You've been going to church and you've been worshiping somebody. And in your heart, you've been thinking it is the creator of all. But you ain't been worshiping the creator of all. That's why that passage in Matthew gonna hit so hard. When God say, depart from me. All right, we're going to get there. Because God is real, guys. And God, God ended up, sending messengers, sending people to right the ship, to balance the ship. We're going to talk about all of that. But God is real, man. And we haven't been worshiping the right God. We ain't been worshiping the real creator. We've been worshiping the false God. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. Sun God worship. You go to church on Sunday to worship the sun God, who is Amen Ra. Is it a coincidence that after you pray, you say Amen? And I'm telling you that this man is named Amen Ra, and he refers to himself as the sun. It's no coincidence, gang. That's who you've been worshiping. Thereafter, to Enki by his sister Noam, a son was born. Cunan, he of the kilns, his name meant Cunan. Okay. I can't see that. I can't see his biblical name. This is his biblical name up there. Okay, his biblical name. Okay, so he was named after, so this is Canaan. So probably in the Bible, Canaan. Okay, so this is Canaan. All right? And she had a son, his name, they say Cunan, he of the kilns. In the Bible, he would be called Canaan. Okay, y'all know like the land of Canaan. This is who that land was named after. Okay, the land Canaan was named after this son. Okay, Canaan, he of the kilns. His name had that meaning. For by Nenerta in Bad Tiberia he was tutored. Of furnace and kiln he learned there. Okay, so the reason he was called he of the kilns, y'all know what a kiln is, right? Like, what you put like a crucible where you melt down metals and stuff like that. Y'all know what a kiln is. So Nenerta was teaching him how to do metallurgy, right? How to work with metals, how to break down metals, how to melt them, how to basically refine the metals, refine the gold, the copper, all kind of shit that they was using. They wasn't just using gold. They was getting everything, okay? So Nenerta was training him on that stuff. For Nenerta in Bad Tiberia, he was tutored. Of furnace and kiln, there he learned. how with bitumens to make fire, how to smelt and refine, he was taught. In the smelting and refining of gold for Nibiru, he and his offspring toiled. In the 98th Shar did this matter come about. Now this is the account of the generations of Adapa after Cain was exiled. In the heavenly journeys of Enki in the death of Adapa. Let me go and tell y'all right now. Enki is who we know as Enoch. Put a 1 in the chance if you know about Enoch from the Bible. The book of Enoch and stuff like that. Put a 1 in the chat if you know about Enoch. Okay. They says in the heavenly journeys of Enki. Okay. So y'all need to know, guys, man, listen. That Enoch, everything y'all know about Enoch, right? We got to switch it around. So the way people teach the story of Enoch is that Enoch was taken to heaven. What did I tell y'all the heavens was? Right? Enoch was not taken to heaven. He was taken to the heavens. Okay? Enoch was traveled from Mars. They took Enoch to Mars. They took Enoch to the moon. He might have made a trip to Nibiru. So all of this shit, if you've ever read the book of Enoch, you know it's a very complex read. It's hard to read it. Okay? I don't know if y'all read the book of Enoch. I got it up in here. I got it in here somewhere. But I don't know if y'all read the book of Enoch, but it is a very complex read. So let me let y'all know something about the book of Enoch. Nobody has deciphered it yet. I'm close. I'm working my ass off. Listen, nobody has deciphered the book of Enoch, guys. We all trying to figure out exactly where Enoch was. I've done some good work. I've discovered that he was on the different planetary bodies. He was on Mars. Yeah, man, it's hard to understand. But I've got some good notes on it. But I don't bring nothing to the people until I've mastered it. Okay? So when I master the book of Enoch, shit, man, they gonna have to give me my props. Because ain't nobody did it. Nobody. Not Billy Carson. None of these people. Nobody. Okay? Now I'm finna tell y'all another place they took Enoch. I'm finna tell y'all another place they took Enoch. Enoch went to what they call the Black Rock. Right? Y'all ever heard of Rupus Nigra? Rupus Nigra, the Black Rock. Give me a number 5 in the chat if you know about Rupus Nigra. Enoch definitely went to see Rupus Nigra because he explained it. He talked about this large landmass that rose to the heavens and these 4 bodies of water that protruded from it. He talked about it. Okay, so we just trying to, like I say, man, there's a lot of research got to be done on the book of Enoch. Enoch got to see where the winds come from, where the water originates. I don't know if y'all know it. The water originates inside the earth. Give me a 5 in the chat if you've ever heard them say that inside of the earth has bigger oceans than all of the oceans on the surface combined. Inside the earth has bigger oceans than all of the oceans on the surface combined. So he saw where the water originates from. He talks about that. He saw where the winds come from. He saw all of this stuff. So like I say, man, it's a very complex read, but when I master it, I'm going to make it a class. But he did not go to heaven, guys. He did not go to heaven. Everything Enoch was explaining was what he saw on other planets. He was explaining the type of, just imagine if we went to Nibiru. Now, you know that they buildings and structures are going to be some crystal type shit. You know that them buildings on Nibiru is going to be a whole nother level, just straight out the movies. Okay? So imagine trying to explain that to people with your limited understanding on what you're seeing. And he did the best he could, but when he explained it, he explained it in such a way that you would think that this nigga was before God. Well, he was inside of UFOs. He was inside of very well lit UFOs. This is basically the gist of him trying to explain all this stuff, okay? So we're going to get there. We're going to get into Enoch, but that's who we're about to meet, all right? That's the guy that they just spoke about, Enki. In the heavenly journeys of Enki, in the death of Adapa, okay? In the 99th Shar, Canaan, a son was born. By Mualit, a half-sister of Canaan, he was conceived. This Malalu, okay, his name was Malalu. Malalu, he who plays, she named him. In music and song, he excelled. So in the Bible, this would be Mahalalel. Mahalalel. Okay, I can't pronounce that too good, but y'all can see it right here. So that's who that is in the Bible, Mahalalel. So if you read the Bible, tell me if it say Mahalalel was good at music. He who plays, she named him. In music and song, he excelled. For him, Ninurta a string harp made, a flute for him he shaped. Hymns to Ninurta Malalu played. With his daughters before Ninurta, they sang. That's how you know this was us. Okay, don't nobody dance and sing better than us. The spouse of Malalu, the daughter of his father's brother, was Duna. His brother was Duna, was her name. In the 100th Shar, since the earth count had begun, a son to Malalu and Duna was born. Their firstborn he was. Irid, he of the sweet waters, his mother Duna named him. So that'll be Jared. I already know that. Okay? So now we talk about Jared of the Bible. He of the sweet waters, his mother Duna named him. Dumuzi taught him how to dig wells, for flocks in distant meadows, water to provide. It was there by the wells in the meadows that shepherds and maidens gathered, where espousing in proliferation by civilized mankind exceedingly abounded. In his days, the Ijiji were coming to the earth more frequently. To observe and see from the skies, they increasingly abandoned. To watch and see what on earth was transpiring, they increasingly desired. Okay, y'all hear that, right? The Ijiji just out there, cruising through the atmosphere, basically looking over, watching everything. This is why they are called the Watchers, okay? To watch and see what on earth was transpiring, they increasingly desired. To be with them on Mars, Enki, Marduk beseeched. To watch and see what on earth was transpiring, Marduk more fervently wished. At a well in the meadows did Jared meet his spouse. Baraka was her name. The daughter of his mother's brother she was. The daughter of his mother's brother. So his mama had a brother and his uncle's daughter. Okay, so his uncle's daughter. At the conclusion of the 100th Shar, a son was born to them. 102nd Shar. At the conclusion of the 102nd Shar, a son was born to them. By the name Enki, which means by Enki, M-E's understanding, in the annals he was called, okay? Enki, by the name Enki, M-E understanding. M-E is a computer program, okay? That's when you hear me say the M-E's, we're talking about computer programs, okay? So basically, his name was by Enki, computer program understanding. That's basically what his name was. He who understands the programs. In the annals, he was called. So this is Enoch. This is Enoch. There was two Enochs. Okay? Cain had a son named Enoch as well. Okay? But this is from the line of Seth. Wise and intelligent he was. Numbers he quickly understood. I'll let you take one in a minute, baby. About the heavens and all matters celestial, he was constantly curious. To him, the Lord Enki took a liking. Secrets once to Adapa, to him he told. Okay? So Enki took a liking to Enoch. And he taught him all of the stuff that he had taught Adapa. You know, he taught Adapa everything. There you go, baby girl. Go ahead. Let me get out of the way so anybody need to screenshot this. Okay. Of the family of the sun and the 12 planets, Enki was teaching him. And how the months by the moons were counted, and the years by the sun. And how by Nibiru the stars were counted. And how the counts by Enki were combined. How the Lord Enki, the circle of the heavens to 12 parts, he divided. That's the zodiac, okay? He's teaching him, he's teaching him about, okay, he's running down all the things he's teaching him. He says, of the family of the sun and the 12 planets, Enki was teaching them. So he's teaching them about all the planets. He's teaching them how the months by the moon were counted. He's teaching him how they came up with the concept of a month, okay? And how they came up with the concept of a year, okay? By the sun. And how by Nibiru the stars were counted. And how the counts by Enki were combined. How the Lord Enki, the circle of the heavens to 12 parts divided. Okay? So that's the zodiac. Okay? The zodiac is the circle. Is divided into 12 parts. A constellation to each one, how Enki assigned. 12 stations in a grand circle he arranged. Okay, that's the constellation science, all right? If you ever want to understand astrology, you got to study constellation science, okay? And it ain't nothing better than going back to the beginning and understanding from the person who invented it, okay? How to honor the 12 Anunnaki great leaders by names the station were called. To explore the heavens, Enki was eager. 2 celestial journeys he did make. So he went up twice. This is the account of Enki's journeys to the heavens. And how the Igigi troubles and intermarriages by Marduk were started. To be with Marduk in the landing place, Enki was sent. From there, Marduk in a rocket ship to the moon took him. So we know Enoch was on the moon. There, what Marduk from his father Enki had learned, to Enki he did teach. When to earth Enki returned to be with Utu in Sipar, the place of the chariots, he was sent. There, a tablet for writing what he was learning by Utu to Enki was given. Utu, in his bright abode, a prince of earthlings, installed him. Okay, so Utu made him be a prince of earthlings. We talk about Enoch. The rites he taught him, the functions of priesthood to begin. Okay, taught him the rites, taught him the functions of priesthood. All right. This is when man first received the system, the high priest system. Okay. In Sipar, with his spouse Edeni, a half-sister, Enki resided. To them, in the 104th Shar, a son was born. Y'all gonna know this son. Methushal, his mother named him, who the bright waters raised the name meant. So y'all know this guy, right? We all know the character in the Bible, Methuselah. Okay? Put a number 5 in the chat if you know Methuselah. Put a 5 in the chat if you are familiar with the character Methuselah. And what do we know about Methuselah? What piece of information do we know about Methuselah? What's the information that sticks out about him? What's a piece of information that sticks out about Methuselah that we learned from church? In church, they say he lived to be 1,000 years old. Lived to be 1,000 years old. Yeah. Older than that, though. They was old. They had the numbers wrong. He was older than that. So was Adam. Adam was old as a motherfucker. Adam was old. These was Anunnaki, guys. These was Anunnaki. Didn't I tell y'all that Anunnaki lived for a long time? So if you got Anunnaki blood, you live for a long time. It's in the blood. You're going to learn about how they switched that up, how they took the long lifespans from us. They took the long lifespans from us after the Tower of Babel incident. We're going to get there. That's way down the line. That's after the Great Flood. Yeah, them motherfuckers live forever. We just don't know how long, man. It could be 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 years. They live a long time. But Methuselah was way older than 1,000 years old. Adam was way older than that too. You about to get Adam's age. We finna get Adam's age right now. It was after that Enki on his second journey to the heavens went. So now this is second journey. That's when he went to Mars. This time too, Marduk was his mentor and companion. In a celestial chariot heavenward they soared. Toward the sun, away from it they circled. To visit the Igigi on Mars by Marduk, he was taken. I told y'all I'm close. I'm gonna be the first person to break down the book of Enoch. I'm telling you. So we know he went to the Mars and we know he went to the moon. He's seen all types of shit in between. He was explaining what he seen on the spaceship. Ain't none of us never been on a spaceship. So we can't even imagine what the fuck he was seeing. But from his description, I can only surmise he was seeing some beautiful stuff, okay? To visit the Igigi on Mars by Marduk, he was taken. Marduk going up there to see his homies, them his boys. To him, the Igigi took a liking. Of civilized earthlings from him they learned. The Igigi liked it, my boy Enoch. Of him it is in the Annals said that to the heavens he departed. That in the heavens he stayed to the end of days. Before Enki, for the heavens departed, all that in the heavens he was taught. So that's what happened. He ended up going to Nibiru. He went from Mars to Nibiru. That's what happened. And he ended up staying on Nibiru. So when Enoch is writing about all of that shit, he is explaining being before Anu, who is considered the God of gods. I'm telling you, man, this shit crazy. In writings, Enki made record for his sons to know he wrote it. Did y'all hear that? That would be what we call the book of Enoch. Come on now, man. God damn. Come on. We lining it up, man. Don't get no better than this. In writings, Enoch, a record made for his sons to know he wrote it. That's your book of Enoch, baby. All that is in the heavens in the family of the sun, he wrote down. And about the quarters of the earth in its lands and its rivers too. The quarters of the earth, okay? To the hands of Methuselah, his firstborn, the writings he entrusted. Somebody got my boy Kingpin Villain? Okay, yeah, let me go hit him up and tell him to come back. Somebody got my boy Kingpin. Kingpin, one of our oldest members, gang. That's one of our oldest members. That man been in here day one, since day one. Let's get Kingpin. Okay, thank you, G. Let me hit him up and make sure he all good. I don't think let me see if I can message him from here. Let me see if I can. I should be able to message him from here. Hold on, gang. Let me get him back in here right quick. Oh, shit. Okay, there you go. It's all good, my love. It's just a mistake. It's a mistake. It happens. That's why we be trying to tell folks, man, shit be happening by mistake. You know what I'm saying? I always tell folks, don't freak out if somebody accidentally block you or something like that. It's a mistake, so it's all good. I'm gonna give him a chance to come on back before I continue on. See if we can get him back in here. I just messaged him. I just sent a message. Okay, I'm sure he'll be back in here. Okay. This is the Lord. Or is that Kingpin? Kingpin, that's you, my brother. Kingpin, is that you? Okay, no, you good. No, I sent that invite to you. Miss Kim accidentally blocked you, but we wanted to get you back in here, so we was waiting on you to come back. You all good. You all good, man. We all good to go. Got my brother back in here. All right, so let's continue. To the hands of Methuselah, his firstborn, the writings he entrusted, with his brothers Ragim and Gadad to study and abide by. In the 104th Shar, Methuselah was born. To the Ejiji troubles in what Marduk had done, he was a witness. I got to get back in my Enoch. I got to get back on my Enoch studies, man. Because that shit going to blow the internet wide open. By his spouse Ednat, a son to Methuselah was born. Lumach, mighty man was his name. Whoa, please be listening to this. Okay, these people right here is very important. Okay, Methuselah, his son Lamech, in the Bible, his name is Lamech. Okay, Methuselah got a son named Lamech. Okay, write these names down because these people are important, and y'all gonna love this part of the story. Listen, the part of the story that's coming up, guys. Super informational, but funny as well. So we're gonna have some fun with it. All right. But the introduction to Methuselah and Lamech is leading us to the story of Noah. But Noah, his real name is Sesudra. Okay? So the reason why Lamech and Methuselah is important is because Lamech is the father of Noah, as you can see right here. Okay? So Lamech is the father of Noah, Write that down, put a star by it, because when we come back to these characters, it's going to be some good information, all right? So this is Lamech as a baby being born to Methuselah. All right, Methuselah, his son, was born. Lamech, that name meant mighty man. So he must have been strong. Lamech must have been built, right? Because they called him mighty man. That's what Lumach meant, mighty man. In his days, conditions on the earth became harsher. The toilers in the field and meadow raised complaints. As a workmaster, the Anunnaki appointed Lumach the quotas to enforce, the rations to reduce. How cool is that? Did y'all just hear that? Y'all heard that? He was a supervisor. Didn't I tell y'all that this was a business and this was a corporation? Listen to that. Hold on. Let me read that again. Because you got to, that's the whole reason you take this class, so you can understand what this Anunnaki story was about. I told y'all it's a human story about business. And as a result, they ended up genetically altering us and created our civilization. That's the story. Listen to this. As a workmaster, the Anunnaki appointed Lumach. Okay? So they made my boy Lumach a supervisor. The quotas to enforce, the rations to reduce. So he's overseeing the work site. He decides on if everybody's hitting their quotas, and he also decides on who gets a ration. Okay? So Lumach was a supervisor. All right? In his days, it was that Adapa death time attained. In his days, it was that Adapa his death time attained. And when Adapa knew that his days to an end were coming, he said, let all my sons and the sons of my sons assemble themselves to me. Okay, so Adapa, who we know as the biblical Adam, is on his deathbed. Adapa says, assemble all of my sons. Abel ain't there no more, but he talking about Cain and Seth. And he say, all the sons of my sons. So bring all his grandchildren, okay? That before I die, I may bless them. In words to them, speak before I die, okay? So basically, this is like a last will and testament. All right. This is basically Adapa saying, bring all my kids to me so I can speak to them and tell them what I want to happen. All right. And when Sati and the sons of the sons had gathered, Adapa said, where is Cain, my firstborn? Let him be fetched. To them he all said. So everybody was there except Cain. All right. Shout out to the family, man. We hit the goal. Big shout out to G. Shout out to Aries Banks. Much love, gang. Shout out to everybody that's been tapping it up, man. We hit the goal. Yeah. So everybody was there at Adam's deathbed, right? And he said, where's Cain? Y'all go get my son. Wherever he at, go find him, okay? Before the Lord Enki, Sati, his father's wish presented. What to be done of the Lord, he asked. Enki then summoned Ninurta. Let the banished one of whom the mentor you were be found. So watch this. We just proved that wherever Cain was, it was not close, because they had to go to Enki and ask permission, and then Enki had to ask Ninurta to go and fetch him, which means that this must be somewhere they got to travel to. By spaceship, by UFO, or whatever you want to call it, okay? To Adapa's deathbed, he was brought. Adapa's deathbed, he be brought. In his bird of heaven, Ninurta betook himself to the land of the wandering he flew. In his bird of heaven, spaceship, okay? That's what a bird of heaven is, okay? In his bird of heaven, Ninurta betook himself to the land of the wandering he flew. Over the lands he roamed. From the skies for Cain he searched. And when he found him, like on an eagle's wings, to Cain he brought Adapa. When of his son's arrival, Adapa was informed. Let Cain and Sati before me come, Adapa said. Before their father, the two came. Cain, the firstborn, on the right, Sati on the left. The eyesight of Adapa was failing. For recognition, his son's faces he touched. Okay? So Adapa could not see. His eyesight had failed. Nigga was like 50,000 years old. Nigga was old as fuck. So for recognition, he touched his son's face. And why did he do that? Because he knew one son would be bearded and the other son would be bald. Because the mark of Cain was to be beardless. You understand? It was for Cain to be beardless. Just Cain. That's what I want y'all to understand. The mark of Cain was just for Cain, not all of his descendants. Just him. Okay? And the face of Cain on the right was beardless, and the face of Sati on the left was with beard. Adapa put his right hand on the head of Sati, the one on the left, and he blessed him and said, "Of your seed shall the earth be filled." That's right. "And of your seed as a tree with 3 branches, mankind a great calamity shall survive." When he said, "as your seed as a tree with 3 branches," he was talking about Noah and his sons. Okay? Noah is the seed. Sasudra is the seed of Seth. Okay? Noah's 3 sons is the lineage from which the world was repopulated. Half the world was repopulated after the great flood. Okay, so those are the 3 branches of mankind: Shem, Ham, and Japhet. We'll get there. That's down the line. "And he put his left hand on the head of Cain, on his right, and said to him," this is his instructions for Cain, listen, "For your sin of your birthright you are deprived. But of your seed 7 nations shall come. From Cain's seed 7 nations. In a realm set apart they shall thrive. Distant lands they shall inhabit." Let me see something right quick. "But having your brother with a stone killed, by a stone will be your end." Now that was wild. Now I don't know what kind of juju Adapa put on him, but Adapa told Cain that because you killed your brother with a stone, then by a stone you will die. Guys, that's exactly how Cain died. A stone fell on him. It's crazy, right? We're going to get there. And when Adapa finished these words, his hands dropped and he sighed and said, "Now summon my spouse Titi and all the sons and all the daughters. And after my spirit leaves me, to my birthplace by the river carry me. And with my face toward the rising sun, bury me." Like a wounded beast, Titi cried out. She gonna miss her husband, man. Titi love that man. Titi ain't never cheated on Adapa. Titi was down. Titi cried like a baby, man. I feel bad for Titi. Like a wounded beast, Titi cried out. To her knees by Adapa's side she fell. And the 2 sons of Adapa, Cain and Sati, in a cloth wrapped his body. In a cave by the banks of the river by Titi Shon, Adapa, they buried. In the midst of the 93rd Shar was he born. By the end of the 108th, he died. Let's do some math. Y'all want to know how old Adam was when he died? Let's do some math right quick. Let's do some quick math so y'all can get an understanding of these folks' age, the real ages. So he was born in the 93rd Shah, and he died by the 108. So that means that he lived 15 Shahs, give or take. So let's do that math. Woo-wee! Boy was 54,000. That boy was 54,000 years old. 54,000. And the only reason he aged is because he was half human. If he was full-blood Anunnaki, he wouldn't have aged as fast. I mean, he wouldn't have looked as old at 54,000. 54,000 young for an Anunnaki on the Biru. If you 54,000 years old on the Biru, you basically like a little kid. That's like a kid on the Biru. On Earth, super ancient. On the Biru, you just still a kid. Shit, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I got the math on it. 12 months on Earth equals 12 years on the Biru. I think I said that right. I got to go back and look at my notes. 54,000 years old when he died. So now y'all understand that Methuselah was way older than this 1,000 years old. 1,000 years wasn't shit to these people back then. Guys, y'all got to remember, this is pre-flood. This the shit that they don't talk about. This the world that they don't talk about. They love talking about the world. See, let me take this time to say this because we at the end. We right here at the end. So let me say this right quick. So when I'm telling y'all all of these professors and shit, I know it's hard to understand this. It's not that these professors and these people out here are dumb. They are teaching this information from the incorrect foundation. So I don't give a fuck how smart you think you are. If your first introduction to this information was from society's foundation, then you all the way off. You can be the smartest man in society's system. That don't mean you the most intelligent. It just means that you know how to, memorize their lies well. You memorize the lies of society. So what I want y'all to understand is we have to go back and study the pre-flood civilizations, because without that knowledge, we can't understand how everything else came to be. Everything that y'all learned came from societies saying that everything started 6,000 years ago. That is what society teaches y'all. Society teaches y'all that all the civilizations start. Matter of fact, let me show y'all something right quick. I'm going to show y'all something. I think I got it in here. Let me. No, that's not. All right. So let me show y'all something real quick. Come on, thing. Okay, here we go. So what I'm trying to explain to y'all is they don't teach y'all about pre-flood civilizations. It's almost like that this shit didn't exist, right? This is where they teaching y'all from. They teaching y'all from this. They teaching y'all from this perspective, right? The ancient Egyptian civilization began around 3100 BC. This is what they teaching y'all. Y'all understanding of the world is based off of this. This is the most incorrect statement, right? This is the one time I can tell you that Google is not telling the truth. The ancient Egyptian civilization did not begin around 3100 BC. Nigga, that's only 5,100 years ago. The Sumerian tablets older than that. Guys, if y'all don't know that, like, the agenda, they have an agenda. They have a history that they are taught to teach you. And they are taught to teach you that the world started 6,000 years ago. That's what this is based on. They want you to believe that some motherfuckers just popped out and was able to build the Great Pyramids. The same people that tried to copy the pyramids and built a bunch of fucking rubble and stones that look like shit. If you ever want to go see the human pyramids, they over there. They look like shit. They don't look nothing like Giza because humans didn't build Giza. So they've been teaching y'all from an incorrect foundation. All of world history is taught from the foundation that the ancient Egyptian civilization began here, but it didn't. It started way before that. Thousands, like almost 20,000 years before that. The fucking pyramid, the pyramid itself is believed to be 26,000 years old. You need to wrap your mind around that. The pyramid, please do your research. Go look at the rumored date of the pyramid and the Sphinx. Now the accepted date by the actual intelligent people, we go with 10,500. Science don't accept that. Science say the pyramids was built in like 4,000 BC or some shit, some dumb shit. That's recent. The accepted date of the pyramids is 10,500. That's the date of the pyramid and the Sphinx, okay? But science but these fake people gonna tell you that it was built just 4,000 BC. Bullshit. Bullshit. Yep. 12,000 BC is the Great Flood, my brother. That's when the flood took place. Between 11,500 and 12,000. You know, I be reading from the timeline. I got the real timeline. Like, I got the actual scientific timeline. I don't know. Heaven, you ain't take my class last year, so you ain't get a chance to get a timeline. You gonna get one this year. So you're gonna get one this year. And you're gonna get one this session. All right. So everybody got a timeline coming. Everybody got a timeline coming. All right.